Hey guys, welcome to another Achievement Hunter review. In today's video, we're taking a look at Ubisoft's Rainbow Six spin-off game, Rainbow Six Siege Extraction, more commonly known as just Extraction, formerly known as Rainbow Six Quarantine. Now, Rainbow Six Extraction is a spin-off game based on the Outbreak event from Rainbow Six Siege. It's a 3-player co-op game where you can choose from a roster of many of the already familiar operators from Rainbow Six Siege. There isn't much of a story for Rainbow Six Extraction. It's a follow-up to the Outbreak event from Siege, as I've already said, set a few years after the Outbreak event. Now, believe it or not, the enemy faction in this game is basically aliens. Yeah, aliens, not a parasite or a virus, but an alien species known as Archeans. Yeah, bit weird. So these Archeans are very hostile, very dangerous, so the Rainbow Six team formed a new branch of their organisation known as React. The leaders of this organisation are Thermite, Mira, and of course Ash. Consequently, this means you can't play as any of these 3 operators because they lead the organisation, which is a bit disappointing because Thermite and Ash are 2 of the original Siege operators and we can't even use them in this spin-off. It just seems a bit daft. So the story, in quotation marks, plots you through 4 different areas, starting in New York, moving to San Francisco, then on to Alaska, and eventually the town of Truth and Consequence, where the Outbreak event originally took place. Now, I'll go into each of these locations in more detail later. As you explore these areas, you can find points of interest that just add context to what happened at any location when the Archeans attacked. As you progress through the game and complete field studies, you also get little bits of story from Ash, letting you know how efforts to contain the Archeans are going. Overall though, if you were to go into this game like expecting a fully fledged, like system and like a fully fledged story, you would be really disappointed. Like, there is just nothing. Like, we know where the Archeans are now, and there are efforts to contain them in these different areas, but other than that, the tidbits we get from Ash, Mira and Thermite, which are mainly just like minute long recordings, there's not much story to offer, there's not much to care about. It's just kind of there for the game to have a reason to exist, basically. Now, gameplay wise, there's really not much to say here, because if you've played Rainbow Six Siege, then Extraction just feels like Rainbow Six Siege, but with big black alien things. It's practically the same gameplay. It's identical. I can't sit here and lie and be like, no, it's different. It's the same, basically. Now, the things that do make it different are obviously the gadgets, and every operator plays differently, because obviously this is not a PvP game, it's a PvE game. So operators can run faster, reinforce faster, there's different equipment, stun grenades actually do things, paralysis grenades, stun Archeans, stim pistol is a thing you can get for an event, which makes you invulnerable and stupidly quick at running. So there are new things, but the base gun gameplay is literally the exact same, if not easier, because it feels easier, but maybe that's just because it's PvE and not PvP. Now, multiplayer, I'm going to throw in this section as well, because it's a short section. Multiplayer is good if you have friends. If you have friends, you're alright. You can just squad up with 2 or 3 people and you're good. If you don't have friends, then it's not as good because you don't have a team backing you up. Now, the game does equate for this, because if you play solo, you get extra health. So if you're missing 1 person, you get a 25 plus. If you're missing 2 people and you are solo, you get an extra 50 health. So the game does kind of balance it for you, but it's a team-based shooter, team-based, not solo. So, and as for events, you can't even play the events solo. Like, if you don't have a squad, it'll force you to team up with other people. which is just fucking stupid. Now, maps are okay. Obviously, like I said, you've got New York, San Francisco, Alaska, and Truth and Consequence. So basically, there are 4 maps with 3 areas to pick from. And they're all kind of alright. Like, none of them particularly stick out in my mind, in memory. Like, we used to play, when I was playing it, we used to run the same maps. Like, we'd do New York. We would do, usually, I think, it was like a hotel resort thing. And then San Fran, we would always do the casino. You would just find whatever map was like the easiest to play on, and then just keep repeating that map. You never play the other ones. Like, the game doesn't force you to rotate, which I guess is good, but also you just see the same stuff over and over. And also, the maps that are in the same area, so like the 3 maps in San Fran, they all look the same. Like, there's a difference between like New York and Alaska, obviously, but like 3 maps in one area, they all just look really similar. And like, I know why. It's because the Archeans obviously transform the area that they live in, so it's all black and covered in stuff. But I don't know, like, you wouldn't know you were playing 3 different maps. You'd just kind of play them and that would be it. Operator wise, we're doing good. We got not the entire roster from Siege somehow. We have some of it. I think the last person to be added before I dipped was Echo, which seems a bit weird because his drone is a bit like more defended, but whatever, like defended sided, but what the fuck. So there are some good choices. Operator abilities have obviously been tweaked to this game, so they don't do what they do in Siege, or if they do, it's not to an exact, like they've either been buffed in some way or they just do something completely different. So Vigil, for example, you become invisible to Archeans. We all know that Vigil doesn't turn invisible. Jaeger's ADS can kill Archeans of a low rank and has multiple charges. Fuse, cluster charges, can go ridiculously fast and have loads of clusters. So they've been buffed. Like, as you play, your operators level up and then their ability and stuff becomes improved, same as their running and their armor. So there is some form of progression, but once you hit operator level 10 and prestige once, that's kind of it. You can prestige 10 times, but what's the point? It's pointless. It's a waste of time. I wouldn't do it. I had a friend that did it. He knows who he is, and it was a waste of time. You get nothing for hitting prestige 10 on every op. You get nothing for hitting prestige 10 on one op. So operator choice is decent. Guns feel good. Abilities have been tweaked for this experience, which is good. It needed to be, otherwise it would not have worked properly. But I feel like the longer you play this game, the more you realise you were playing kind of just a really kind of quick cash grab spin-off of a game you already liked. Now, I personally would have made this game just a DLC to Siege for like 20 quid. It's not worth 60. Now, I'm trying not to like finalize my opinion too early because we're not at the conclusion yet, but like I feel like people that play this are gonna see the operators they like and be like, yeah, I can play who I like and all that, and that's good for them. But I just feel like the more you play this game, the more you realize you're kind of just playing a reskin turned into a PvE that could have been an easy add-on for a game you already had. I don't know. If you've played the game, then let me know if you think like me or if you think differently. Moving on to the shop, which is not a section I enjoy adding to videos, because whenever a game has a shop, it's usually never good news. Just like every other game on the market, of course, this game has skins that you can buy and not earn, and it costs money, and it's not cheap, and it's just really stupid. What's annoying about Extraction is the shop feels like it's had the most effort. Like, the skins look good, and that's good, obviously, but it looks like that's had the most effort and thought put into it. They were like, right, we need the actual thing that's going to make money off of this game look the best. Everything else, just get a working game. Good, there we go. and that was it. Like, the shop, personally, I think I've bought like one thing, but that's because I had credits from the weekly challenge thing or whatever it is, can't remember. You could earn credits like once a week, and I had enough, and I think I bought like a headgear and just for funnies, and that was it, because it was a funny headgear for Fuse. But that was it. Like, I bought one thing. I've never actually spent money, so, and I wouldn't. Like, if you have this game and are still playing it, don't spend money on it. Don't do that. Achievements in Extraction are mostly okay. There are a few tedious ones, like interact with 100 points of interest and kill, 75 or 100 sludges with explosives. That's a bit daft. Earn 30k XP on 5 crisis or whatever incursions. There are some, like, those are kind of like the difficult / tedious ones, but for the most part, like, you'll play this game and unlock, I would say, 85% of the achievements just by playing it and not even trying. So they're not awful. It's an easy 1000 games ago. I've done it. It's been completed like months ago and uninstalled. I've had the script written a bit for like forever. But achievements, if you are an achievement hunter like me, I wouldn't put this one off for those. They're not that bad as long as you have like 2 friends if you need them, because the game is probably dying already. Then you should be good to get it. But if you don't have friends, maybe think about it, because you might find some of the harder achievements a bit more difficult to do by yourself or with 2 randoms who obviously aren't going to be communicating with you. Well, this was a kind of fast video, but that's kind of what I was going for, because honestly, I just feel like I don't have time for Extraction. Like, I played the game, I did everything the game had to offer, I got every achievement in the game, I uninstalled the game, and I was happy I uninstalled the game. Like, it was okay for the first couple of hours, and then you get into the grind of getting everyone to at least Prestige 1 and the achievements, and then you realise, like, oh great, this is just the same thing over and over and over again. And I know you could argue that that's the case for a lot of games, but the thing is, I think it was Marty O'Donnell who said this, the guy who helped compose music for Halo, I think, or someone from that team. It's like, if you want to make a good video game, you need to make the player do the same thing over and over and over again, but it needs to be something they'll enjoy. And Extraction is something that I enjoy to a point, and then it runs out of things to offer me. It runs out of new enemy types. It proceeds to use the same enemy types because you're playing at highest difficulty, so it just throws all the highest stuff at you all the time. And it just runs out of, I don't know, it starts off at a light jog, starts sprinting, and then it's like it stumbles because it just runs out of shit. It runs out of track. There's nothing new. Like, I don't know. I like the game, but I also don't like the game, you know? I just feel like this could have been either a cheap add-on for Siege, 20 quid. It's not worth 60. Now, I got it through Game Pass, but I would not pay full price for this game. And I still believe that it should have just been an add-on for Siege. But to put it into perspective, Ubisoft literally came out like a month ago and were like, yeah, we're not supporting Extraction anymore. Like, we're just gonna let it run its course. You know, the servers will stay up or whatever, but we're not like updating it anymore. So it lasted a year, and that was it. Like, what was the point? I feel like if they were gonna make this game, they really should have gone like all out, and they really didn't. And it's quite sad, because I remember watching some of the dev stuff when it was still named Quarantine, and the people on this game genuinely seemed like they were enthusiastic about it, like genuinely feel like they wanted to make this game. They were like, yeah, we want to make something in the Rainbow Six Siege, you know, universe, but we want to make it a PvE, and we really want to do this. But it's like they just either ran out of time or ran out of ideas. I don't know. Like, the game introduces the higher tiered Archeans to you over time, bit by bit, and then it just runs out of new Archeans. And you just play at high difficulty for, like, you know, if you're playing this for like 6 hours a day, you know, with your friends, by the end of the night, you're just like, okay, I'm done. and then you do it again the next day. It's just like there's no reason to. Like, I did because I had achievements, but an average player is gonna look at it and go, well, I've prestiged everyone, you know, I've had my fun. I'm not going for prestige 10 and everyone because it's not worth my time, because it isn't. And then goes, okay, well, I'm bored, I'll just leave it on my Xbox, or maybe uninstall it and install something new. Like, that's what an average player would do if they install Extraction. Play it for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks if you're lucky, and then they'll realise, okay, I've seen everything the game has to offer, I don't really care about the achievements, my mates are already getting bored of it, I'm just going to want to install it and install something else that's a bit more fun and a bit more new. And then it's just going to fall off, and it has fallen off. It's not getting supported anymore, which answers my question for me of, is it a good game? Like, it lasted a year, and I genuinely feel bad for the team that worked on it, because this is basically their baby, and it's just like it's gone to shit because no one's playing it. So in conclusion, should you buy Rainbow Six Extraction? No, you shouldn't, and I didn't. I had Game Pass, so I got away with it. But like now, especially if you were thinking about it, don't buy this game. It's not worth the money. It's only fun for about a week, and then it becomes a grind, and it's not even a fun grind because there's nothing good to grind for. There's not even like camos to grind for. Like, what is the point? And it's just not good without friends. Now, I'm lucky, I had friends, but even then, we got bored after 2 weeks, and then we went back and I did the achievements. It's just like, God. So no, Rainbow Six Extraction had a lot of potential. Could have been a really good game, or even just a little add-on to Rainbow Six Siege. I would have been okay with that. But is it a good game? It was, I guess. But now, no support, no player base really, and just nothing new. Don't buy this game. Do yourself a favour. Save your 25 quid when it's on sale. Don't bother. Are you on Game Pass? Don't install it. Don't bother. You'll get bored. Trust me. That's going to wrap it up for this video anyway, guys. Let me know what you thought of this one, because I realised halfway through recording it that my script wasn't even written, and I thought it was. So I kind of winged that one based off what I would have said, but I feel like it comes across as more natural, so let me know what you think. And if you prefer that, then I guess I'll start bullet pointing points instead and having a bit more of a natural flow to my videos. I do like Extraction. Like, I don't want anyone to go in the comments being like, oh my god, this is just a video of you hating on Extraction for 10 minutes. I liked the game, but the game just has nothing left to offer anyone. Like, there's just no point. If you're a new player, there's no point. Like, you might as well just wait till the next kind of PvE game comes around. But that's going to do it for this one. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like. If you're new around here, then consider subscribing. I make videos like this all the time, about once a month at the moment, because work and real life things get in the way all the goddamn time and it slows me down. But yeah, I make videos like this at least once or twice a month. Last video did really well. Cyberpunk video is at like 700 views, which is insane, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Like, you guys have no idea, that's the best the videos I ever done on this channel, so I was gobsmacked. I'm really happy about that. So hopefully this one does at least well. I'm not expecting it to do nowhere near as good as Cyberpunk's numbers, because it's less relevant, but I wanted to cover Extraction for a while. So yeah, that's the video. I'm gonna dip now, go drink a coffee, and go and play Dead by Daylight with Alex, because she's asked me to. So hope you guys have a good day or night, depending on where you are, and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.